we see our for once since I subscribe my sin be able keep updated like in a share na money as you in a binti no so dey could be answer already yen fe ni chimney and can dey when the entry mo so be as speaking on I go for a dummy it is our kasa or kasapa because a koba say the chief justice the suspended chief justice a couple lawyer no when you be as a go for a dummy no couple no na Akroma say a lot of leakages, a lot of exposes, buffer governor Damo say he doesn't fit to be the suspended chief justice and lawyer no because already no a banisa na say matter na kwa politicized because Brian suspended a chief justice no NPP for a press conference, NPP for a demonstration, NPP for a petition Supreme Court as NPP for a fight mandate suspended chief justice. Na Akroma say a year go for a damn so near bra man for a leakages a ban on man for can say NPP for mum na command chief justice and that means NPP for interested the suspended chief justice in Besti to do their work, you know. A man about one thing as I say a year Tsikata so NDC ni na is information abano HSA oni hu kwan se okoka asam no kra a year edugitamakuru ababontin abi clean that mess and to say a year governor dame e kafa Tsikata want to vindicate Tsikata just be can say wayadi pa na the thing say there has been a lot of serious orders come my the suspended chief justice say on fa a year governor dame sinchen na banisa my case no I had time man to only sinchen ma recommend another lawyer be amana just a better one saying news very important news equal with yanko name good things some the tamakru and Martin people okay.
So once you become Caesar's wife, there is a certain benchmark around you based on your conduct. I would have wished, and this possibly wishful thinking. There are many senior lawyers in this country, right? Many senior lawyers. Now, if you have a situation where serious allegations of this nature, the minority in parliament have entered, the NPP itself had actually had a demonstration relative to this. Then not only that, you have a situation where the immediate attorney general is your lawyer. Have you found out who is represented here before the committee? Have you found out?
Yeah, some people raised it, but I mean, we didn't get answers.
No, I mean, assuming you have my learned senior you go to, being her lawyer before the committee, what would be your view?
Well, it'll be different.
Do you get it? So, I think strategically, I don't have the capacity to advise. You know, no, I don't have the capacity at all.
Yes, but you have an opinion.
But you see, there's a reason why you read that Bible, the verse.
Yeah.
The account, if you put in account, you are doing now who kwine, and yet I doing now so the fata. Do you get it? You are doing now who kwine, but and yet you now the fata. There's a reason for that profound statement in the good book. You know, her ladyship, the chief justice, is a lay preacher at ICGC. I want to believe that going forward, maybe some of these things will guide how this thing is approached. It's for good reason. You see, it's not an ordinary person. If you look at our governance structure, after the president, the vice, Mr. Speaker, she comes next.
Article 57.
She comes next.
57.
It's not. Look, the events playing out is not a joke.
Well, for the response to the disposition of others, that look, this matter has already been politicized, even though it's a purely constitutional matter.
Who?
We have allowed the politics of things
By
to
who?
Also get in there.
By who?
So I mean the suspended chief justice going in for is really not outside of the politics of things playing out now in this case.
Let me tell you, I know the high hopes President John Mahama had in her leadership, the Chief Justice becoming Chief Justice.
Right.
I know.
Okay.
In fact, prior to she becoming the Chief Justice, President Mahama actually said, when Eni Ebua was just about, that he is very confident that the new Chief Justice who will come after Eni Ebua will restore.
Yeah, the one they were taken out of context.
No, because that statement was made when Eni Ebua was just about exiting.
Yes.
And she was coming in.
And they were saying that meant that James said.
In fact, it was about,
Yes, so, but they took it out of context.
It was deliberately done. They don't provide when it happened. So GM was very specific that he is so confident that with her ladyship Justice Gertrude Torkorno becoming the Chief Justice, should restore, because the Afrobarometer reports and others created an impression that there was something untoward happening with the judiciary. And so GM, then opposition leader, said, look, he is confident that with her ladyship, the Chief Justice, becoming the Chief Justice, a lot will happen. Let me also state here, even at the political committee of the party, after FECNEC, one of the highest political committee of my party, the NDC, right? When her nomination came, President Mahama indicated to the minority that there shouldn't be any opposition.
Wow. President Mahama indicated
at the political committee level that nobody should oppose her becoming Chief Justice. So if you note, unlike the Gawu, Kumsin and Co., whose appointment came to the entire floor for a vote to be taken on them, in the case of a leadership, the NDC minority in parliament, because it was just a minority of one, and they could have unsettled everything. All they needed was to just get one person in the MPP at that time to flip, and that should have lost whatever. But you notice that when it came to her appointment, from the committee level, it was unanimous. Her approval was by bipartisan. Then on the floor, it was unanimously approved. That was the confidence President Mahama personally had in this Chief Justice. That is the level of confidence he had. Why? The grounds in the petition, unless President Mahama is a soothsayer, or by way of clairvoyance, how was he going to see that the Chief Justice will conduct herself in that manner? I mean, how? It is just not possible that President Mahama could see into the future, assuming that they claim that, she paid a per diem or so and so for the husband, or as I speak, I've decided I don't want to bother myself with the grounds. Assuming these are the real grounds for which reason these decisions are being taken, guess what? How could President Mahama see into the future to say that her ladyship, the Chief Justice, was going to conduct herself in a particular manner? How was that going to be possible, Alfred? And so, right from the onset, there couldn't have been any issue of politicization until the MPP, busybody, decided to drag themselves into this impeachment conversation. With the press conferences, not only that, they even went as far as organizing a demonstration. Didn't they do it? Look, when I listened to Godfrey Adame on one of the radio stations, makes the point that the lawyers for the petitioners are known NDC lawyers. So wow. Yes, you can say, and without any equivocation, that my learned senior, Mr. Tsatsu, is a proud member of my party, and he associates with that. But how in God's name do you say Tadio Sorry is an NDC member? Look, I'll tell you this. When I became, in 2008, one of the campaign promises President Mills gave was to find the killers of Issa Mobila, the Northern Regional CPP chairman. You saw the circumstance under which he died. The soldiers, his legs up, tied him up until he died. So it was one of the NDC campaign message in 2008. Well, when we came to power in 2009, President Mills then decided, may his soul rest in peace, to prosecute the people, the perpetrators of that murder. Guess who their lawyer for the accused person was? Mr. Kadio, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The NDC lawyer is the one representing Mr. Sorry, and he made the point that even in Ghana at 50, at that time, my Lord Justice Kulendi was the lawyer for the Ghana at 50 people. He said he assisted them.
Yes.
And many other matters that he's done, including representing Obiamwa.
That's it.
Guess what? Because his people master was Ambrose Derry, the two of them did Malam Issa's case. Malam Issa's case. Yeah, so here is just a lawyer who, once you approach him for legal representation, he's willing and able to. Like you pointed out.
Some will even tell you, if you know Sore's family, they'll tell you that he's more of MPP. In terms of family. The family.
This man, what's the name? My own brother, Oliver. The things Oliver says about JM or the NDC government, sometimes I wish I can call him and say, my brother Godwin, what's happening? But that's a free-minded Ghanaian. So to suggest that the petitioners are being represented by NDC lawyers is mischievous and deliberate to poison the atmosphere. Now that it has come out that you are the lawyer for the CJ, now suspended, what's your response to that? Then you are all over the place. That, if it's so, then we are guilty by association. It cannot be. At least let us handle these matters in good conscience. I'm surprised that Godfrey says good men should rise up. Today, if good men rise up today, you will lose his license.
Yes.
On what basis?
But the tape is clear. And this one, they call it no further inquiry. This type of tape.
One of the,
when you hear it,
it's not conclusive.
It's called no further inquiry. Ask the people who learned this law in America. They'll tell you this one is called no further inquiry. It's too clear. The main thing is that
if today, with respect, good men rise up, as Godfred is calling good men to rise up, you lose his license.
Yes. Absolutely.
One of the reliefs.
But I had a question, so I was going to answer. So I'll be very brief. Yeah, you pose the question to me and then yes.
Because on.
So my answer, you said Governor Dami said that you know.
He says that argument of the optics is baseless essentially.
Yes.
And without merit.
So the word baseless.
And he references he references what Edujit talked about. That you have some of the petitioners also being represented by persons known or non-affiliates of the NDC. So really, what's the point? And then also the fact that this matter has been politicized already. So he getting into it doesn't hurt the optics as it's at play already.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So even before I go on to the substantive question, please let's note the issue of when Ma'am was saying is just a moral matter. Please, Article 128 Clause 4 says that a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he is of high moral character and proving integrity, blah, blah, blah. So the point I want citizens to note is that we've not divorced morality from the law. The two are interwoven, inextricably interwoven.
So when you hear a judge say that what is legally right cannot be necessarily morally right and vice versa. It is not.
There are places.
Okay.
That point is made. As to whether you think it doesn't apply here, that's your opinion. It's fine.
Okay.
Yes. So now, Governor Dami, the word baseless. Yes, that's what I want to address in a minute. I mean, in view of all the facts we've referred to so far, okay. Let me recount briefly. The trial judge telling Godfrey Dami, stay away from this trial. Godfrey Dami ignoring her. The things Godfrey Dami has said in the tape, right? Number 3, Godfrey Dame adding ACP Agojo to the treason trial when he himself said there was no evidence against him. Godfrey Dame covering up the second Cecilia Dapa scandal. I'm not surprised he would say that is baseless. The claims are baseless, meaning that he himself, his judgment has always been suspect. Let's repeat what I'm saying. He's saying that the charges against him are baseless. You understand? I'm saying the word.
He says that argument of
optics. That's what I'm saying.
Charge.
Yes, I'm calling it's called the argument of the optics. It's a charge. People are charging him that the optics look bad. And Godfrey Dame is telling us that argument that the optics are bad for him is baseless. And I'm also making the argument that for a man of his decent track record, and I've named all the things, right? When he says this is baseless, I'm not surprised because from his own track record, all the things we said, his judgment has always been suspect.
Quickly. Okay. Is it one that you support?
Yes, let's separate. Straight answer is that her waiving of her right would not automatically result in a public hearing. That's the straight answer. Because when you look at the phraseology in Article 146, I think it's clause 8, it doesn't appear that...
8.
Yeah, 1468. But did I mention a different?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't appear that it's to protect her alone. No, let's read it. This is what it says. It says, all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so from the way it's been phrased, it's not clear that it's only to protect the accused in a way.
The country Tsikata na chese ya Vindicated no a year Godfrey Dame ni a shutting up no na insema bafa Godfrey Dame no will be a the conscience ye adwuma yi pa o se sa bri ko resign and I say this sensitive case a Ghana for any DH no could be in a from because your case with out of force, you know, and the name be brina na yedin, dim bonny, our become dinner. Because as an attorney general for Ghana, now all quittia a citizen, see a citizen, our on your bonny be a per se criticism be so deep bonny Kesi pan near the one castle who nipa of free Ghana. You have into prison, Akroma Boni Biano. I just say, with 3 more din, power. You are not there for justice. Meanwhile, you people are there for Ghanaians' justice. Could be no Bekwama Ghana. So, to get an attorney general, air plotting, air planning with another person, a criticism, and throw, Kesi and 2 be so. Send be a bit my jail will be. I won't ye 3 more thing. So only right. So all the constitution no ekumobi. Only sa right no. Because the same constitution and I wouldn't throw be room. Akom. How? I'm more be a deal be to prison. How? After sa semna ba. A man for a petition the Ghana Legal Council. I'm a Ghana Legal Council for so I that case not to me. I'm just here dragging it to that place to punish and sanction a girlfriend Dame. Who sa case in inquiry. And when you know a cassette Tsatsu, will be out true or no, and go for producing young Crawford. True or no, our lawyers and our judges for a peer film in any packet. And you know, if you say in your democracy, only one cassette Tsatsu, oh, bad bang. Bring a corner to the bar now, where the saying. Now, Bamba been creative penny Tsatsu. Now will be one now cassette. Does it make sense? So, right now, Eji tamakula sem na shini pa say one go for dameno ono no mumu kire say na sem mumu case no my na NDC mahama so Tsikata for ene nkofo for aka ho no mo ACC CG Torkorno how asabe no edoji tamakula silence and ye for batches and yaseketwa reveal a lot of exposes award when kwase ke babondin but because of how ne any senior learner Tsikata kasa no and some akafa no ntino so ntimi kana no ntuma sa won sana enkasenti obi a respected person pasa debida title sorry all kasa no so NDC ni no my instances said there be papa ne di ye bekan is a new track as a because MPP for graph and as a lawyer da how many dia momo so then I'm kicking mama ni nyansa oni nyansa papa so momo side no the suspended chief justice ono na MPP for Akroma no because he who another Ghanaian be a Akroma mami NPP for na Akroma mami meanwhile she is a Chief Justice for Ghana. Only Chief Justice for NPP. So, if I say NPP for mum na Akroma mami. DNA I had dream. So, mum na mind politicize because ne lawyer ampo. Go for damn names or NPP ni. NPP for a press conference. Banter with the president and the government. NPP for a demonstration. Yes, a committee name cramponi pa or then our cousin could jina the name crampono. It's alleged so MPP name. So then I'm more person with you. Until right now there has been a serious petitions in order Akroma the Chief Justice say go for damage doing any sinching. So per se na asem no emuda fine na attention ni ye juma na enkofo how be ambre no any sinching ni many ya. Na I find the right person, the right person kujina because on mum na ma case na politicized. Na air time sa dia constitutional politician constitution back and forth. Meanwhile the constitution is clear. And because of the constitution is also na ma wanya a DMB chief justice. Without the constitution you need DMB chief justice. Without the constitution you need a DMB president and our government. So you have to respect the constitution because of the constitution and na mo wanya privileges be our benefit. Tell na respect the constitution. So it's time so be respected the constitution. Na more personal gains and selfish interest I attention. Subscribe and share money also the binti for once in Akroma.